Happy New Year, dog people. You have arrived at the first episode of 2025 of the Rocker Dog Podcast, the only show that talks to musicians about their dogs and how these canine companions enrich their lives. I'm your host, Tim Dill, being informed by my dog, Charlie, and the two of us are very excited to kick off the new year with a great talk with Arejay Hale and his wife, Emily. Arejay is the drummer for Halestorm, who will be out on tour stateside the month of January before heading overseas in May, opening for Iron Maiden. And this is Arejay and Emily's pure love, wrapped in fur, Rocker Dog.
This is Oreo, the most famous person in our family. At least now he is, now that he's making his debut podcast appearance. So everyone say hi to Oreo.
He looks great. And how old is Oreo?
He's 13.
Yes,
13.
This is my wife, Emily, and she's going to be the Oreo expert today because I came in the picture after Oreo. So I know my place in the house. I know that I come in third, you know.
Well, it's interesting because I want to get to that because I think there's probably a little bit of a humor involved with that. But first, if we go back 13 years, Emily, what's going on in your life and how does Oreo enter it?
So actually, I got Oreo 8 years ago. He's a rescue, so I got him when he was 5.
Okay.
I was looking for a dog. I worked at a startup and we could bring dogs to work, and I was living alone and I wanted a little companion. So I knew I wanted a rescue. I went to a bunch of rescues and then I found this place, Safe Place for Animals. They're in Gallatin, Tennessee, kind of a little bit outside of Nashville.
Shout out.
Love them. And I started working with them and they were so lovely. I would tell them, you know, what my lifestyle was like, and I would ask about a dog and they'd say, hey, we just don't think that's the right dog for you based on your lifestyle. And I loved that about them and I appreciated their honesty. And I had an adoption somewhere else fall through, and I'd seen Oreo at Safe Place for Animals. What had happened to him was that he had been left outside in the freezing. So I adopted him in March. So he'd been there since like all of February. And a neighbor had seen him. He was chained up outside and they thought that he was going to freeze to death. So I think the neighbor basically just took him and gave him to the rescue. And then the rescue talked to the owners and they said, oh, you can keep him. Yeah. Which is crazy. But now he's just the most spoiled little boy in the whole world. And he sleeps in a king size bed every night.
Deservedly so. You know, he went through it to deserve it.
Yeah, for sure.
So Arejay, how long have you known the dog now?
I've known Oreo as long as I've known Emily, so 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. As of this year.
Well, I'm burning to ask this question to Emily, knowing how much you adore this dog. I'm assuming that if the dog doesn't like the boyfriend doesn't last.
Correct.
Okay, so what was the first meeting with Arejay like with Oreo?
Oh, I remember this.
Arejay, you can answer it. Either one can answer.
I remember.
After our first date on our day off in Nashville, we played.
It was a Friday.
So right, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, Friday day off in Nashville. Saturday show day in Knoxville. Sunday show day back in Nashville. We went like back and forth. And then I texted you. I was like, oh, by the way, I'm back in town. You want to grab a coffee or something? Mm-hmm. She's like, sure. And then we're just hanging out, chatting, having a good time, talking about our first date.
And it's storming.
And it's raining. It's like storming, thunderstorming outside. You know, big surprise, Nashville. And you got a call from your mom.
My mom had been staying with me that weekend, and my mom calls me and she's like, Emily, I was trying to leave the house and Oreo darted out because he got so scared of the thunder to follow me, and he hid under my car and I can't get him and I can't leave. You need to come home now. So I was like, Arejay, do you want to come with me to go try to get my dog and also meet my mom at date number 2?
Yeah, on the second date.
And so he showed up and Oreo... Oh, yeah. Then
he was under the car. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And it sounds so crazy, but Arejay came over and we talked and I was like, hey, I know this is so bizarre, but Oreo feels really safe in my room and he'll stop shaking. Do you want to hang out in my room? I was like, I swear I'm not coming on to you. I just know that Oreo will just feel so much safer if he's in an enclosed space where he knows it's his. And so we ended up just like sitting in my room and chatting for like hours.
I guess there was something about me that you trusted to bring strange guy in your bedroom on the second date, you know?
Yeah.
So Oreo has this a little bit of a traumatic day. Was he open to meeting RJ at the time, or was he just all about you?
I feel like he just sat in my lap most of the time, but Oreo's like pretty chill anyway. You got to be a real jerk for him to not like you, I feel like.
He's more aggressive towards men. So like if a friend of ours who's a guy comes to the house and he doesn't know them, he'll start barking. But I think he was pretty distracted by the storm, so he wasn't really barking at me.
I think
but
he was. He warmed up to you pretty quick.
really
I feel
fast.
Like.
Yeah. Like we became like instant besties. So that was a good sign. I was like, okay, I passed the smell test.
Now, RJ, are you a dog guy? Were you a dog guy? Did you grow up with dogs? What's your history with dogs?
Oh, 100%. We always had dogs when I was little. My first dog was a boxer, and he was just like a member of the family. When he passed away, that was... Oh, I remember that day. That really felt like I was losing a family member. Best dog ever when I was a kid. We had other dogs, had a fox terrier, had another fox terrier. But then when the band started, it was really hard for us to keep a pet at home, especially because when we started touring, my parents were involved and were touring with us. So pretty quickly, we weren't able to have a pet anymore. So there was a long period, I'd say from the age of like 13, 14 until I met Emily. So that's, I don't know, 20 years or something, maybe is my math. I don't know. I would have so much dog envy by people that had dogs. Anywhere I lived, if I had a friend with a pet, I'd be like, can I come over? Can I watch them? You need a dog sitter? I'm here, you know? So it was always tough for me to have somebody. So when I met Emily and she came with Oreo, I was like, this is kind of cool. I've never had a dog in my adult years. So this is my first.
I do have to say, I feel like this is a common theme. So many people tell me, and you've said this too, they're like, I didn't think I was a little dog person, but I really like Oreo. I have so many people tell me that, and it's like, oh, it makes me feel good every time.
I'm a every dog person. I don't care what size or anything.
Yeah.
But it is.
You grew up with bigger dogs, didn't you?
I grew both. I grew up with a large boxer and then a little fox terriers.
Now, looking through social media, I saw a picture recently. I think it was back in the spring, with Oreo with a big scar. I think on his back, maybe. Mm-hmm. What's going on with that?
So it's all good news. He's cancer free. So I'll just start by saying that, because every time I start the story, people are like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "No, he's okay." I think it was like around May. He just gets these little bumps. He's an older dog, and so he just gets little lumps and bumps. And when he goes in for his annual teeth cleaning, where they put him under, they just go ahead and take him off. And he was at his cleaning, and the doctor called us, and he was just like, "Hey, there's this one spot. It just looks a little concerning." He's like, "Do you want me to send it off?" And I'm like, "Do you think it needs to be sent off?" And he was like, "I would." And I said,
Yeah.
"Cool, send it off." So then I got a call a couple days later, and he was like, "Emily, I'm so sorry. It's malignant melanoma," which is actually very unlikely on a spot like that. It's normally like in their mouths or things like that. And he was like, what we can do is recommend a revision surgery to hopefully get all of it so it doesn't spread. They did scans. There wasn't anything in like his lymph nodes or his organs, so they were pretty confident that it was pretty slow moving. They recommended us to a few places here, and no one could get us in closer than a month. And we were not having that. So we called people in Memphis, Chattanooga, and then we called UT Knoxville, which is actually my alma mater. I went there. I graduated their business school, and they could get us in like a week and a half. And we were like, cool, we're driving to Knoxville. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we drove to Knoxville, and it was a 2-centimeter margin around the entire thing, which is very big when you're only 12 pounds.
Yeah.
And they did that, and then they called us back later, and they said all of the margins were clear, and he was healthy.
Yeah, we have a very whatever it takes attitude with his health. Like he is our son, and I would do anything. I'd go to the ends of the earth to make sure he was okay. So
yeah. There's various posts where you both say these two are the loves of my life, so it seems very mutual that Oreo is got high priority.
Mm-hmm. They're a package deal.
Now, RJ, you've got a funny post that said, "Damn it, I've become one of those obnoxious dog dads."
Yeah, I really have. The kind of
what
people
constitutes that?
Just because I'm so in love with this little fur baby, and I think that there's kind of a joke around the internet that makes fun of people who treat their animals like kids, like little baby humans, which he absolutely is. Don't listen, Oreo. But yes, I understand that mentality now. It's
No,
yeah.
RJ,
He really is like my child, you
but
know?
RJ will be somewhere and he's like, "Oh, can you show them Oreo? I was talking about him." And
Yeah.
like I'm the one that takes all the pictures, so RJ only has like a couple of photos on his phone. But he'll be like, "I was talking about Oreo all day. Can you show them pictures? Like tell them
Yeah.
about this." And I'm like, "Okay."
So I was like, I need to post more about Oreo just because I love him so much. But at the same time, like I know I'm gonna get comments of like, "Oh my God, you're one of those obnoxious dog
Typical millennial
typical
behavior.
millennial dog dad." And we don't have like kids, so besides Oreo. So yeah, I feel like a lot of parents are like, "Oh no, like having a dog and having a kid is so different. You don't know what you're talking about." But at the same time, I'm like, I love him like he is my own kid. So like, I understand that type of dog dad mentality, I guess.
Well, I was going to ask if anybody takes care of Oreo if you're both gone, but it seems like Oreo's a well-traveled dog. I mean, I saw pictures in Malibu and Oklahoma City and the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, we took him on a trip. It was in 2020 before we felt comfortable flying anywhere. And I was in the process of moving my stuff from LA to Nashville. So we took her mom's giant Nissan Armada and we just road tripped it to California, stayed there for a few weeks to put my house up on Airbnb, to do some recording, some writing and stuff for my other project, Chemical Fire. So we just like spent a couple weeks in LA at my house out there with Oreo. And then we drove back too. And you're right, like during the trip, we stopped, like Oreo got to see the Grand Canyon. We stopped in Texas. We stopped in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
We went to like a couple little doggy parks, and so yeah, he's pretty well traveled, I think.
That's great. I mean, he seems, I dare I say spoiled, but to lead into my next question, he must be spoiled. How do you guys indulge on him the most?
Oh man.
Well, he loves to sleep, that's for sure. This little boy can outsleep anybody. He loves napping. He's so laid back. He's just so chill. And
I will say he has an extensive clothes collection. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
and toy collection.
And toy collection. He doesn't really use the toys. We just like to buy them for him because why not?
It's the thought that counts.
But you know what it is? It's his food. He has become so picky. If we start giving him the same food over and over again, and it's been like a couple months, one day he'll just wake up and he will go on a hunger strike. He'll just stop eating until at the end of the day when he's absolutely starving. Then he'll eat all of it. But he will let you know he's like, I'm so tired of this food.
Yeah, we'll have to get some canned stuff and mix it in because we try to give him really healthy food because we're trying to keep him healthy.
Yep.
Of
And he
course.
only has 8 teeth. When he was at the rescue, they had to pull a bunch of them. And so he doesn't have a lot of teeth. So you have to give him soft food. It's like very specific and it's just a whole process. But no, we have to turn on the kettle. It's this freeze-dried stuff. We heat it up. It's a whole process.
So it's soft, yeah, so we can chew it.
And it's warm, so it's good.
When the Amazon man comes around, he forgets he only has 8 teeth. He's like, let me at him, I'll rip him to ribbons.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Like, what are you going to do, huh?
That's my dog. Well, it's funny. I stumbled upon another thing. It's a very common hashtag. And I got to think about it because I think it's a lot more profound than we all use it as. And it's the hashtag "We don't deserve dogs."
So true.
It's so true.
And explain, what does that mean to you? Like, why not?
They're so much better than humans, I guess.
Well, you know that they just can't do anything with malice in their hearts. You know what I mean? Everything that Oreo does, whether, barking at the Amazon man or barking at people outside, or, if he pulls on the leash to get at another dog, he is a little reactive, but it's like everything he does comes from a place of love, whether it's just the wrong way to behave, it's like he just does it because he loves us.
Well,
he wants to protect
he does it
us.
to protect you.
Okay, to be fair.
For me, if I was getting eaten by a bear, he would just be like, no, I'm kidding.
That's not true. But it's just everything he does, he really can't do anything.
Yeah.
He's like just not capable of hurting me on purpose.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
it's just,
doing anything malicious. Yeah,
what do you call him?
They're so innocent and pure.
What do you call him?
Oh, because he's pure love wrapped in fur.
RJ says that all the time.
Aw, see, obnoxious dog dad.
There's many times I think that my guests will lose fans by the way they gush over their pets.
Yeah, I'll probably lose a few.
I think they're pretty aware of it already.
Worth it.
They are. Do your fans address the dog? Do they ask you about the Oreo on occasion?
Yes, they talk about him all the time in meet and greets because I post about him, and a lot of our fans are also fans of Emily as an actor and as in the arts herself, and so a lot of our fans are following Emily too, and Emily posts and Oreo. Oreo's got his own Instagram page too, so a lot of them are following him as
He has
well.
like 1,000 followers.
Yeah,
I
Oreo in the
know, I
city.
know. A lot, yeah. We got a lot of Hailstorm fans are also major Oreo fans. So
People have brought
say hi to
treats.
say hi to your fans out there, Oreo. They're out there. They're
People
watching
have
you.
brought treats to meet and greets.
Yeah.
for Oreo.
That's great.
Or
I love
presents or
that.
toys.
Or
yeah.
presents or toys and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's so
sweet.
funny.
That's great. Well, speaking of Oreo's Instagram, Oreo in the City, in November 2020, he posted, and this is a picture of RJ. You're my second favorite person in the entire world. And my question is, can you live with that?
You know what? Totally fine. I understand. Look, I know my place in the house. I know that I come in third. I always say like, hey, Dad, thanks for paying the mortgage and for feeding me and taking me outside and taking care of me. But like, if Emily leaves the house, he'll just sit at the door. He does not care. He's like, yeah, sorry, I love you, but you're not mom. So I understand my place, but you know what? I came in the picture after, so
Yeah.
it took a minute for Oreo to be like, you know what? Okay, I'll adopt you as my dad. You know, we always make the joke where he's like, shut up, you're not my real dad.
Like if RJ does anything he doesn't like,
You're not my real dad.
That's funny. That's very funny.
Yeah.
Well, I wind up every show with what I call the Zoomies, and those are 5 fast, frivolous questions.
Okay.
The first question, and you could both individually answer. Do you kiss Oreo on the mouth?
No.
No.
I thought I'd get a yes and a no.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And this translates to, do you let him lick your face?
He doesn't lick.
Okay.
He doesn't really give kisses.
Yeah, our friend's dog Finn, he'll lick you all over the place, but Oreo doesn't want to do that. Yeah,
No, Oreo just
Okay.
wants to be held.
yeah, he just wants to be loved.
Fair enough, Oreo. Question 2, does Oreo have a theme song? If you were to walk into the room, what should be playing?
We have a couple. So we have one from SpongeBob. Oreo is my best friend in the world. Oreo is my best friend in the sea. Oreo loves mommy more than daddy. And then we have the other one. We go.
Which is true.
The autos or O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah.
has a, Oreo smelly farts.
And there goes the remainder of my followers.
There's so many more, and I won't make you suffer through them.
Yeah, so we have
Oh,
a
they're
bunch of
great.
Oreo. And
They're
should we also mention his morning motto every
Oh,
morning?
every morning we wake up and we go, Oreo, you know what today it is?
You know what today is?
It's a
Great day to be an Oreo! Oh, God, we're obnoxious. God,
It's funny
we're
to hear,
obnoxious.
it's funny to hear the name again and again, because one of the notes I had, and I can't remember where it goes back to. I think it goes back to his page. But Emily, you did a thing where you had to call him another name because you could.
Yes.
What was that for? It was some video for
Well, I
pedigree or
did a
something.
commercial, and I think it was like for Pedigree. It was for
That's what the hashtag was.
yeah,
Pedigree.
it must have been for Pedigree and like a CMT collaboration or something. And they did a commercial where they were interviewing people with rescue dogs. And I can't use the name Oreo because it's owned by Nabisco. So I had to call him Bubba, which is what I call him usually. Like I'm like, all right, come on, Bubba. Yeah,
Right,
all the
right.
time.
It's a nickname.
So
Okay.
it wasn't that hard, but as soon as I had to start calling him Bubba, I kept calling him Oreo on camera. And I was
Cut.
like, I'm an actor. I should be able to do this. But for
Right.
some reason, I could not do it. And they were like, you said Oreo again. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, we should also mention, I don't know if we mentioned this, but he came with the name Oreo.
It's a big
He was
Okay.
he was already responding to it, so that's why you kept
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, at 5 years old, you said when you got him.
Yeah, and I don't know
Yeah,
if the rescue had the name or if that was already his name, but he had been at the rescue for a month
The rescue
already.
probably gave it to
So
him, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he was already responding to
And
it.
very apropos with his coloring.
I
Yeah,
wonder what his name was before.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. There was no before.
We don't care.
There was no before 4 times.
Okay, question number 3 is, I know Oreo doesn't tour with Halestorm, but if he were, what would he insist be on the tour rider?
Probably treats.
Cheese,
Cheese?
cheese,
Cheese and French fries.
French fries.
French fries. He loves
Oh,
French
really? That's
fries.
funny. That's
we are
that's
suckers. We
unique.
do feed him from the table, which is
No, he wants steak.
steak. Oh, he would want steak. Anytime I'm cooking steak in the kitchen, he's like right there. Come on, Dad. Or bacon. Yeah, which
yeah,
is
for
well,
sure.
you're a vegetarian, but Oreo is not, and neither just like his daddy.
Yeah. Okay. Question 4. I know the answer. I don't know the specifics, but do you use a dog voice? And this could be in 2 ways. You
we?
can speak in a high-pitched voice to him, and the second way is, do you channel a voice as if this
Yes.
would what he would sound like?
We're not the only ones. Yeah, yeah. I feel like with the Oreo voice, I have one word that sums it all up.
Daddy,
Daddy,
daddy, daddy.
Daddy, I love you.
It's like, Bobby, where are you going, Bobby?
This
You're
is
putting, Bobby, you're putting your outdoor feet on. I know you're gonna leave me.
Bobby, this is such a fun interview. I'm gonna be famous.
You guys need a reality TV crew to follow you around, because I feel like a lot of your bits are private and you need to share them with the world.
If we want the most annoying show you could ever imagine, then
Oh my
yeah,
God.
we're in.
It'll either be the most annoying thing you've ever seen or the funniest thing you've ever seen. There is no in between.
A little bit of both, maybe.
A little bit of both, yeah.
All right, and the last question is there a dog service or organization you'd want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah.
Safe Place for Animals in Gallatin. They're amazing. It's where I got Oreo, and they were just so lovely to work with. They understood their dogs and they have cats too. They are just a rescue, but they understood their pets like I feel like a lot of other places don't. And
Yeah.
I highly recommend going to check them out if you have the opportunity.
Yeah, and they're
Fantastic.
really cool. They care about matching you with a dog that will fit your lifestyle and fit your personality and like what you're looking for. They have a good knowledge of the personalities of all the dogs and all the pets. So yeah.
And adopt, don't shop.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's right.
And Emily, you mentioned you had your eye on a dog that with another rescue that fell through. What kind of dog was that?
Oh goodness. I think it was I don't know if I'm saying it right, a Pekingese.
Mhm.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And I was going to adopt them, and it was at the Humane Society, and it was just like you get like a 24-hour hold, and they called me at like 23 and a half hours and were like, the dog's yours, those people didn't come to pick him up. And then I was like going to pick him up, and then the other people showed up
Oh, geez.
like right at the last minute. So I was like ready, I was like emotionally like, oh, I'm getting this dog, and then it fell through. And I mean, it's just, it
Again,
happened.
can you imagine? Can you imagine it? It's like sliding doors. Like, can you imagine it the other way, your life the other way?
Yeah, no,
You
I
would have
mean,
never met
can't-
RJ.
I know, literally.
Really?
Could've been- I mean, you never know.
Yeah, who knows what could throw off the Earth time continue? What's the
The time continuum.
time continuum or what?
Yeah, whatever. And then I
Me
went and
trying to
got
talk all
Oreo.
smart.
So it's all worth it,
Yeah, and he is just the best. He's so easygoing. We know it because we've dog sat for a lot of a lot of our friends, and yeah, he just fits our life so well because he's so easy. He's very self-reliant. The only thing that he does is he has a little bit of separation anxiety, especially when he's home alone. So when we leave, we have to put a belly band around him so he doesn't pee in the house. But he will poop in the house, but he poops in the same place. We got a special rug in the dining room where he poops every
Oreo's
time.
like, why are you telling all my secrets?
That's-
Sorry,
throwaway rug.
I'm revealing all the secrets, but it's a washable rug. You take the top layer off, you throw it in the wash. So after a while, we'll wash that. But it's like if we have to pick up some turds when we come home, if that's the price we pay for giving this little boy the best life, then so be it. But that is when we say that. The "you're not my real dad" line.
Oh, when he puts
when
if
when
RJ
I have to be the bad guy, because Emily will be like, "Could you put the diaper on him? Could you be the bad guy?" Like, okay, so obviously he
doesn't
it's
like
not,
wearing
it's not his
the belly
favorite thing in the
band,
world,
but-
but after a while he forgets he wears it. But just getting it on him is kind of is like he just has this like, "Oh, please don't" face, and that's when he's like, "No, fuck you, you're not my real dad."
You got to post.
We're allowed to
I'm not
swear here,
familiar
right?
with that. You got to post a picture of that.
Was that? Oh yeah, I should post a video of that.
and
Although
it's so
you're
funny.
shaming Oreo, but hey,
Yeah, well, it's so funny because you put the belly band on him, and then he does this thing where he just stiff arms everything, and he like acts like he can't walk. It's so dramatic, And I don't know where he gets it from. Not us. We're not dramatic. And then we come home, and then he's like running laps around the whole kitchen, like he's so excited to see us. And I'm like, oh, strange, you can walk now.
Yeah, he forgets about it.
He completely forgets about
luckily,
it.
they're comfortable. They're nice and cushy and comfy.
Yeah.
But it's not like it bothers him or bothers his skin or anything. But yeah.
But it's funny because he's perfectly potty trained otherwise. But if we leave, all bets are off.
I think the reason he hates when the belly band goes on is because he knows it's associated with us leaving.
Yeah.
And he gets really sad when we leave. He's like, where are you going? And of course, he's got no sense of time. He doesn't know. Every time we leave the house, I remember the first time I was like, oh, okay. So your mentality is that we buy a brand new house. We all move in together. We move all of our stuff. We put a diaper on you, and then we leave forever. Is that what you think happens? I guess that's what he thinks happens.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, RJ, Emily, thank you so much for sharing Oreo with me. I've been very entertained, and just now, just laughing, I was like, this is a joy for me. So thank you.
Aw, likewise.
Thanks for being good dog parents.
Oh, are you kidding? This is the most fun interview I've ever done. Thank you for having
thank
us
you.
and for doing it. And thank you for everything that you do with your shelter.
I was just going to say that.
That's so incredible that you guys are doing this. And it's so cool that you get to do this podcast and bring attention to it.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely do the same. We'll make sure that when this comes out, we'll post it on our socials to get more word out about
Great.
what you do.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.